I would like to tell you something unique that would be memorable, but I can't. What happened is Dr. Litton and some other men decided to have a Little League in Norton. And they asked the boys, 10 to 12, to come try out for the team. And so we all showed up where the Little League field was going to be, and we tried out for teams. And there were 4 teams. The Kiwanis Club, who was managed by Jack Hatcher, the Lions Club, the Junior Women's, the Boosters. Reed Simmons, Moon Mullins, and Ralph Bradley were the managers of those 3 teams. And after we all tried out, they selected players. And I think the decision was made that there should be at least 1 African American on each team. And so there were 4 African American boys who came across the railroad tracks, who tried out for the teams and were placed on a team.
Now, I'm sure at the time it was unique, but I mean, you're a kid. Did you think much of it?
No. They were a member of our team. I was on the Kiwanis Club, and Johnny Blair was on our team. And Johnny was a teammate, and I rooted for Johnny just as hard as I could when we played the other teams, even if the white players were batting or whatever was going on. Johnny was my teammate, and we worked together as a team.
So tell me then about this. I'm just going to check this shot here. Sure. All right. So tell me about this all-star team. I mean, you said you were an alternate on the all-star team?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. When it came time to name an all-star team, I think there were 14 players that were selected, and 2 of them were African American. Johnny Blair from the Kiwanis team, and Harold Mitchell, who played on the Junior Women's Club. And those 2 were on our all-star team. Now, there's a lot of things that occurred that I didn't know about at that time. I've learned about them through reading articles by Lan Molesky and Bobby Jenkins. Bobby was a member of the Kiwanis team, and he wrote about it. And then, of course, the articles that Lynn Sutter and Mike Steele have written recently about this. But evidently, the first thing that happened is whoever was organizing this Commonwealth in Little League said you can't play if there's African Americans on the team. You have to take them off. And that led to a resounding no. They're on our team and they're members of our team. They're going to play. And then they said, well, you can't play in the Commonwealth of Virginia because it's against the law for blacks and whites to play together on the same field. That didn't cut it with our leadership. They said, these are our all-stars, and this is who you got to play. So I think a compromise was reached. I don't know all the details of that, and there are a lot of stories that go around about it. But it was pretty clear that they weren't going to let us into the tournament, so they declared us the Western Division champions and said there would be a 1-game playoff with the Eastern Division champs for the state championship. Okay? But we couldn't go east to play. So the compromise was that the winner of the Eastern Division, which turned out to be Charlottesville, would come to Norton and play a 1-game playoff for the state championship. So they came, they were feted. The municipal field where the Norton Braves, which was a Mountain States League team at the time, played, was outfitted with a fence for the appropriate distance for a Little League field, and the game was played. And behind Rapid Robert Lively, who was our pitcher, who struck out 9, and David Wood, who was a catcher, who hit a home run and 2 other singles and drove in 4 runs, we beat Charlottesville 12-3.
So, I mean, as a kid, what did you think of all this? Did you just think, oh, the adults are being ridiculous, and we just want to play, these are our teammates? What's going through your head as a kid?
I don't remember thinking about it. We just played baseball, and it seemed, once we started, it seemed perfectly natural, and it didn't bother any of us that I can remember to have African Americans on our team. It was just a team, and we played baseball. And I think we followed the leadership of Dr. Litton and the 4 managers. And so we were not going to object. That wasn't what you did if you were on a team. So we played baseball.
As an adult, when you look back, especially knowing what you know now, how brave were the adults, the managers of your team? I mean, they could have easily have.
I think it's remarkable what they did. Again, you have to remember the times. 47, Truman had integrated the military. 47, Jackie Robinson signed with the Brooklyn Dodgers, played first with Montreal, and then with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And that was difficult. If you've ever watched the movie 42, you know how difficult that was for Jackie Robinson. But the Commonwealth of Virginia lived and died by the Jim Crow laws. It even, now remember, the Brown versus the Board of Education didn't even occur until 54. And when it occurred, remember, the strategy for the Commonwealth of Virginia was massive resistance. They even closed the schools rather than integrate them. So it was pretty courageous for what these folks did in that environment. I don't think we were quite as rabid segregationists here in Southwest Virginia than the rest of the Commonwealth, but it was still the law of the land, and Dr. Litton and the managers and the rest of the community decided that they were going to let boys play baseball, and that's how it occurred.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add about the experience, or?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. And fortunately, I'm going to be able to talk about it a little bit on Saturday. But I think that there are traits that have to be recognized: principle, courage, moral fortitude, and resoluteness. And that's what I think those folks displayed.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, when I heard the story, I was like, that's just incredible how brave. I mean, and you kids too, you didn't know you were being brave, but.
It was just baseball. We played baseball. And playing on a team against other players where you were competing established an equality. And it didn't make any difference what the color of your skin was. It's whether you could hit the baseball or catch the baseball or pitch the baseball. That was the deciding factors.